Welcome back to Practice Exam 1. Today we are working on Project 7. This is where we're starting. Practice Exam 1 square, click on Training Mode. Hopefully for you, there's a test that you're able to resume. Instead of resuming for me, I'm going to start a new test because I want one that hasn't been completed yet. But for you, you're hopefully continuing from Project 6 and you're about to finish your practice exam. So click Resume Test. Be patient as it opens. Hopefully it will open up to Project 7 where you left off, but if it doesn't, I'm going to show you how to fix that. When your screen finally opens up, you will see a summary button at the bottom of the page, right here above the tasks. I guess that's not the bottom, maybe the middle. Click on Summary. That is going to give you all of the test questions. And if you go down to the very last one, Legal Terms, click on Task 1 and click Go. Sorry for the noise. They're grading my tests that I haven't done yet. I can always go back and redo any of these until the very last time when I submit this and click Finish Test. Then there's no going back. So keep that in mind as we get to the end of this project. In order to submit this for credit, you need to have at least 25 out of 35 correct. It's been giving you your grade as you go through. If you're not sure what your grade is after you're done with Project 7, I will show you how to take a look at that. You can go through and grade each project again to check. But after this, if you're sure you have at least 25 out of 35, you're going to finish test and then submit a screenshot. All right, very first task, task 1, says to change the status property of the document to draft. All right, status is a property. It's a file property. File properties live in the File tab. So for this task, we click on the File tab, and then that is our Info button. Click Info, and then off to the right, you will see Properties. But status is not one of the properties that I can see here, and there is actually a button down here at the bottom that says Show All Properties. And you have to click Show All Properties in order to see the status. So when I click Show All Properties, here I can look and now see status. I can click here in the box, type the word draft with a capital D, R-A-O, got my caps lock. Type, get what you want. All right, capital D, R-A-F-T, and then simply click outside of the box to finish that step. Make sure you don't leave any extra spaces or anything at the end of this. On the exam, anything that has an underline underneath it, you can click it and it automatically copies it, and then you can paste it into your document. It doesn't work as well with our geometrics practice test, so I just typed it, but if you're typing something, make sure you do it exactly the way it says in the directions. Now, some students have had trouble getting to the Show Fewer Properties. For me, I can scroll down. I've got this scroll button and I can scroll down here. But still, that doesn't always work. Sometimes these directions are in the way. So, just like we can resize shapes and tables and other things, if I hover over the right side of this page, notice I get my double-sided arrow, like we did with Jasper Active Lesson when we resized our penguins and our icebergs. Get that double-sided arrow on the right-hand side of your page where the directions are over in the lower right-hand corner, and then click and drag those directions to the left, and you can drag them out of the way, and then you should be able to see what's down below here. Then when you're done, you'll simply just get your double-headed arrow again on the directions part of it and drag back to where it goes. All right. When we're done here, we're going to click the back button, which is this blue arrow in the upper left-hand corner. Click that to go back. Mark completed. And we're on to task 2. Task 2, we are going to put the registered trademark symbol after the heading registered. So first I'm looking in my document for the heading registered. There it is right there in the middle. And I'm going to click after that. So after the D, click, blinking cursor after the word registered. Then I'm going to go to my Insert tab. And then almost all the way to the right are symbols. Click on that symbol arrow and I get some options. Now the registered symbol for me is the very first one because I've recently used it. It's somewhere in here. If you hover over it for you, it'll tell you which one. So you're looking for the one that's the registered sign. It's a circle with the capital R in there. And click registered symbol. That is how you complete this task. You can mark this completed. Just as an FYI, I want you to know how to insert symbols that have a font and a character code. That's important and may be tested on your test. So, under symbols, not only do I have these to choose from, but I have the button More Symbols. And if I click More Symbols, that is going to give me more options. The symbol box pops up, and you can notice that I've got a symbol tab here, and underneath that, it asks me for my font. You might be asked to find a specific font. I'm going to pick, for example, Wingdings. Let's see. I'm going to look, use my arrow and look through all of these fonts. And I'm looking for the one called Wingdings. Oh, there are 3 of them. Good to know. Picking the Wingdings right there. And then there's also a box down here in the lower middle that asks for a character code. If I'm given a character code, let's try 1, 2, 3. I get flower. So if you're asked to find a symbol with a font and a character code, this is how you do it. You're going to look with your font and character code buttons, not your eyes, like we did for our registered symbol. You're going to click Insert, and that's how you would complete a task like that. All right, on to number 3. Task number 3, we're going to apply the text effect small caps to the 3 paragraph headings, trademark, registered, and copyright. Now, the key to this is not having to do this 3 times, right? We want to work smarter, not harder. And we don't have unlimited time on the test. It's only 50 minutes when we go to testing. So we have to do some of the things quicker so we have more time for other things. So the most important thing is to do this just once by selecting the 3 headings all together. The way we do that is by using our control key. But the control key will also zoom in and out of your keyboard. If I hold down the control key and try to scroll down this page, it's going to zoom in and out of my screen. So I have to only hold control when I'm selecting something that I want. First one's a freebie. Select it, right? Use your super selector. Remember, if you have your cursor over here in the margin, you get this arrow and you can select the whole line at one time rather than clicking and dragging. Use your super selector, select the first one. That's a freebie, get that first one. And then scroll down so you can see both of the headings you need next, registered and copyright, okay? Now this is where we're gonna hold control. So hold that control key, CTRL, down at the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Use your super selector and now click registered and then click copyright. Now, if I scroll up, I can see I've still got trademark selected, registered is selected, and copyright is selected. So you need to know how to select things that are not right next to each other. That's by holding the control key. All right, then we're going to apply the small caps text effect. That is in the Home tab, and it's actually in something that's very important. Don't forget about your dialog box launcher. So right here in our font group, dialog box launcher, that little arrow in the corner of the group that lets you have more options. That's where this lives. Click on that. And then right here, there's a checkbox for small caps. Click that checkbox. Small caps. Click OK. And that is how you complete this task. Mark it completed. We're on to task 4. All right. Our very first test, we actually did these next 2 together, so hopefully you might remember them. But we're going to enable change tracking on this document and lock it with the password legal. We also worked on this in Lesson 8 in Jasper Active. All right, task 4, here we go. To enable change tracking, that is on our review tab. So click on that review tab till the ribbon changes, and then right here's our tracking button. Click that arrow to open up your options. You might just have a tracking group that shows these buttons. Then you're going to click on the pen and paper to turn it gray. That's how we track changes. Changes are now being tracked. Now, if I want to lock it, I'm going to click on the arrow that says Track Changes. And down at the bottom, I'm going to click Lock Tracking. All right, when I do that, I have to put in a password, and I have to do it twice to make sure that I know what it is. Capital L, E-G-A-L. Notice it's just making asterisks in my password box. That's to keep it safe from anyone who might be looking. Then I'm going to hit Tab, or you can just click in the box below, and I'm going to type the exact same password again, capital L, E-G-A-L, and I'm going to click OK. And that is how we enable change tracking and lock it. Mark completed. All right, on to task 5, the very last one. At the bottom of the page, we are going to add a comment to fair use law at the end of the last sentence that reads, should we explain fair use law? All right, since the comment that we're going to add is fairly long, we're going to copy and paste it. It can be difficult to do, but don't give up. Click just before the S. See, even stuff's getting in my way here, and it's selecting the wrong thing. Oh, now I missed the S. Click just before that S. Oh, I'm going to try going from the end instead. Oh, that worked better. All right. Nope. Just want this. All right. When you've got just the comment, should we explain fair use law selected, then Control C, copy, Control C for copy. And then where we're going to add this comment is to fair use law at the bottom of the page. So I'm going to scroll down. At the very end, the last 3 words, fair use law, I'm going to select these. Because we're adding a comment to these words, we're going to select them, and it's important that you read the directions whatever you're asked to do in the text. So I selected the words fair use law, and then I'm going to add a comment. So I'm still on the review tab, and right underneath that review tab I should have a button that says new comment. Click that, new comment, and then I'm going to hold Control and V for victory because we're working smarter, not harder, and paste our comment. Now notice that mine is blue. That's okay. Once you've pasted your comment, it should say, should we explain fair use law? Make sure you copied the right thing. And you can click back into your document. Or if you're using the newer version of Word, you've got a post button, right? Looks like an arrow. You need to click post. And mark completed. Now I hadn't opened it yet, but should you need it, the help button is here. Blue help button is available on all training mode tests. Click on help and it shows you each step just like a Jasper Active lesson, right? All right, so we just finished this project. We're going to click grade project. Hopefully we will get them all right. If you did not, you're going to want to click retry. I got them all right. Now, if I missed one of them, I got a red X. I'm going to notice which one I missed. I can click retry and go back in and try it again. All right. Now when I click next, because I did not miss any, and it's going to take me to the summary. Now, up above it says 29%. That means I've completed 29%. I have not done the whole thing. Hopefully you have. But just because you have a green check mark doesn't mean you got them all right. It just means that you completed them. So if you're not sure how many you've gotten right, you can go back to the very first one, cabins. I can click task 1, click go. Click continue. It's going to take me back to project 1. I can now click grade project. And when I click grade project, it's going to grade whatever I've done. I haven't done this one yet, this time. So I've got them all wrong. I'm going to need to go back in and retry. You can miss up to 10 overall and still get full credit for this assignment. So if you're counting, if you missed 2 or 1, keep track. You could go back and retry to fix any of them if you missed more than 10. If you're still counting, you're going to click next. It's going to load the next project, and you can keep going through and saying grade project and counting how many you've missed or retrying any that you need to. All right. Now I'm going to go back to the summary and show you how to complete this exam. So when you are completely done, you're sure you've gotten 25 out of 35 right. you are going to click Finish Test. Now along the way, you can always save your test and come back to it and redo. Once you click Finish Test, that's it. There's no going back. You'd have to start a new test. So when you click Finish Test, it's going to say, are you sure? You can't undo this. Yes. Now, it would be really nice if at this point it took you and showed you your score, but that is not how this program works. So the way to see your score is by clicking on the orange Tests button right here. Click that arrow, click on Completed Tests. This is the last test that I did. It should be the very first one in the upper left-hand corner. You're going to click on it, and you will see a summary screen. And this is the screenshot you need to take and submit, just like we did with our Jasper Active lessons. Don't forget to rename it. I'm suggesting practice exam 1, but anything with exam 1 in there will be accepted. Now mine would not earn full credit because I've only gotten 5 out of 35. You can see here the minimum passing score is 25 out of 35. You need 25 out of 35. Take the screenshot, make sure I can see your name and your score, submit it in Schoology for 100 points. There are instructions with the assignment in Schoology if you need more information.